City News is brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers Rotorua, celebrating 100 years of legal excellence and innovation. Good evening, Rotorua. Tonight on City News, a record number of entries has been received by organisers of the New Zealand Aria Singing Contest. The Rotorua Breast Cancer Trust is calling on locals to get behind this year's Pink Walk, and almost 2,000 runners and walkers are in town to take part in the 11th edition of the Ekiden Relay. A record number of entries has been received by organisers of the Waiariki Institute of Technology New Zealand Aria Singing Contest. Convener Ian Edwards says the fantastic thing about the 45 entrants is that a large number are from Rotorua.
Well, it is a major event. This is an event that attracts the top classical singers from all around New Zealand. And this year we're really delighted because the entry numbers are so big. But we've got a big increase in if you like, a groundswell of young people coming through. So record entries right across the board.
Now, I remember last year when we came to talk to you about the Aria, there was a huge amount of local talent involved.
Indeed.
Is it the same this year?
It is, and that's very encouraging for us. And of course, what we'd like to do is to identify that talent, exceptional talent, and nurture it through. And we hope that the very best of those will get an opportunity further down the track for lakeside concerts.
The New Zealand Aria Awards are on at the Convention Centre starting on Friday the 1st of November. The Rotorua Breast Cancer Trust is calling on locals to get behind this year's Pink Walk. Chairwoman Sue Winters says the walk is the Trust's annual fundraising event, and she says the event is a special one that helps to subsidise local programs for those undergoing treatment, as well as providing other support for local women with breast cancer.
We all gather at the village green. From 5 o'clock onwards there are festivities, there's food, there's entertainment, there's registrations there, and then at 6 o'clock the walk is set off and we head round here to the government gardens, past the museum and back to the village green. It's 3.4 kilometres.
And the Pink Walk takes place on October the 30th with a cost of only $5 to enter. It's a fun event, so don't miss it. And in sport tonight, the 11th edition of New Zealand's only Ekiden Relay is set to circumnavigate Lake Rotorua tomorrow. Almost 2,000 runners and walkers are expected to take part in the 42-kilometre relay, which is split into 6 legs with teams of 6 running. Organiser Rob Doherty says runners use a Japanese tasuki to pass on instead of the usual baton.
Y'all got to be pretty happy?
Yeah, it's a very popular event. We're really looking forward to a big turnout at this one. It's for teams of 6, so it's not so much like a real marathon. No one runs more than 5 to 10 kilometres. Very achievable. Great team building thing, and people have a lot of fun as they go around the lake.
And to your weather now, and the forecast tonight is for rain, northwesterly strengthening and an overnight low of 8. And a reminder, of course, that every Friday you can plan your weekend activities with help from our weekend weather roundup with Met Service, straight after City News. And for program listings and other info, or to upload images, check out our website, that's tvrotorua.co.nz. And remember to check out our Facebook page, TV Rotorua. Still to come in tonight's program, environmentalist Denise LeGroux has news about the Seed Freedom event. We catch up with what's new at the Nongataha Rail Trust. And Soup Kitchen is a new project that hopes to offer those less fortunate with a hot meal. We talk with organiser Charles Christensen.
Well, this week all around the world there has been a massive event about promoting seeds and seedlings and teaching people about organic foods and how to eat healthily. And with me today is Denise LeGroux, who's going to share with us pretty much what's going on, because not only is it an international event, it's also very local here in Rotorua.
It is local. I mean, the international event is led by Dr. Vandana Shiva, who brought together the Seed Freedom movement. India is a country that has had to deal with a lot of issues around their seeds, quite potentially
for the last 30 to 40 years.
And this is because of corporate influence.
It is because of corporate influence, and there's been a huge impact on rural farmers and things in terms of them being able to grow food to feed their families and their people. Huge rates of suicides. So she's brought this movement to the world because now it seems to be stemming into developing countries, not just less developed countries.
Yeah. So here in New Zealand this weekend, the
Yep.
12th of October, there's a Seed Freedom event
Yes.
around about 10 different cities and centres in New Zealand.
Yep.
So what's happening here in Rotorua?
We've taken on City Focus to create a space where it's open for people to come. The whole idea is that people come down and learn what's going on with our seed, not just in terms of genetically modified organisms, but also in terms of what happens when corporations own the right to our seed. I mean, our seeds have been things that have been passed down from our grandmothers from generation to generation since pretty much the beginning of time.
So it's all about protecting the heirloom seeds.
Not just the heirloom seeds full stop. Once you have a situation where you have a GMO seed that's in the environment, if it crosses with traditional seeds that we've been growing, that corporation then owns the right to that food. So it's protecting seeds full stop.
Wow, so
Yep.
it's not just a local thing, it's actually worldwide.
No, it is
Yeah.
worldwide. It is.
So this weekend down at City Focus, starting at 11 o'clock,
Yep.
and you're going to be going for 3 hours. What
Yep.
sort of things are going to be happening down there?
We've got lots of activities for kids. We'll be painting pots. There's free seeds. The kids can pot seeds up and take them home. There'll be seeds for adults to take home. There'll be demonstration no-dig gardens. We're doing some seed bombs, show people how to make seed bombs that they can throw around their communities that are full of different types of seeds for different things.
So next spring we can see pumpkins and lettuces and all things popping around.
Well,
around the
hopefully
city.
round some of our maybe not in town,
I think I
but
might get in trouble for
definitely
that.
within our communities that perhaps need pumpkins and things like that growing around the place. Not just that, flowers to feed our bees and things. I mean, the whole notion of genetic modification is a huge threat to our bee populations. And pretty much our bees bring us $402 billion service a year globally. So we can't afford to lose our bees.
No, that's right.
So it's a very whole thing. There'll be music. It's about celebrating. It's about joy for everything that's been so that we remember what we have, so we don't lose it.
And the really interesting thing about this, Denise, is that Seed Freedom Rotorua is also tied in with the March Against Monsanto and World Food Day. So these three events all pretty much tied up together on this one day. Is that a coincidence that these three things happened?
What we did was created a space for people to express in the way that they wanted to. There's a portion of our population who really want to march, which I think is fantastic. So we wanted to bring the whole lot together so that we can show people who we are in our community and what it means to us as a community. Our food belongs to all of us. So it's, I think it's quite timely that the whole thing's come together, and I hope it'll be a great day.
Yeah, because people can protest all they like, but some people who are just watching from the outside may not get involved because maybe they don't like protesting. But here in Rotorua on Saturday, you're actually going to be teaching people how to grow things, so there's education involved as well.
Oh, most definitely. And music. You know, you can't have that kind of thing without music. So it is a celebration. It's also a celebration of expression. So it's an open door for everyone. It's free. Everyone can come down and join in and learn and not feel intimidated about being in a space like that, because this is something that concerns our kids, and it's our job to look after our kids.
And I guess it can not only locally but internationally.
Yep.
It concerns everybody, because once someone has control of the food, then what's going to happen with that?
Well,
Scary to
I
think.
mean, you've got a situation in Mexico they've grown our food, our corn crops, for centuries, and they've had an issue with importation of GM corn, just in corn terms, not to grow, but the kernels fall off, it grows and it crosses with their traditional corn crops, and they're extremely worried they're going to lose their traditional corn crops. They can't grow the GM corn because you then need to buy pesticides to be able to spray them, change your soil types. It's a huge issue globally.
A lot of people are going to be watching this and thinking, well, this is just conspiracy theories. But is there scientific research to back up that GMOs aren't good for you?
There is a huge amount. I mean, there's a documentary called Genetic Roulette. You can find it on YouTube for free. You just type in Genetic Roulette. It's put out by the medical fraternity in the States, who have been exposed to GMOs for the past 20 years, and it's linked to a huge amount of health risks among people. I've just been to the States, actually, and it's sad. Wow. It's sad. And yeah, it's time for us to listen. We can go back.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's too late for anything.
So I guess that's the whole cope-up about this weekend, is educating, showing people what they can do with the seeds.
Come down and check it out. And without, don't have a closed mind, have an open mind. Come down and see what it's all about, and then make your own decision, because at the end of the day, it is our choice.
It is. Denise, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Talk.
Well, if you consider yourself to be a bit of a train spotter, we've got a great story for you today. We're down here at the Rotorua Rail Park, and joining me is the office manager for the Rail Park, Anne Egglestone. Thanks for joining us today, Anne. Now, you guys have got some good news.
Yes, we now have a hobby shop.
Yeah.
That's in our park.
So all the train spotters around town will be pretty rapt about that.
Oh yes, all the modellers. Yes, they all come in and we have lots of different things there, so they've got to come along and have a look.
Now, is this for a mature boy or is this a younger boy's hobby?
Oh, for all age groups, big and small. Yes, no, they're wonderful with the people that come in here, so it's great.
Now, the hobby shop was actually situated in town, wasn't it?
Yes, it used to be the Oily Rag.
And now it's closed down and you've taken over.
Now we've taken over his stock, yes.
Yeah, so I'm guessing the big thing is getting the information out to people to know that the hobby store is now here.
Yes, that's been our biggest thing, but we've been getting quite a bit of advertising done and that for us, and it's been in our local news, which is the Nongantar News, and they've done all that for us as well, so it's been great.
Now, we're right in the smack middle of the school holidays. Do you have a summer holidays program, or are you busy during the week? How does that work, Anne?
Oh, and over the Christmas period we open all over the holidays for the school holidays, like 6 weeks that the children are off, we run. But for the little holidays like this, we need our maintenance time to get everything ready for the summer now, because we've got Labour Week coming up. Yep. So there's a lot of work for the men to do around the yards and get everything and servicing the trains, everything that we need to put on for the public to come into.
So Labour Day traditionally is quite busy for you guys?
Yes, it is. Yes, that's our opening summer really for us, and that hopefully will bring in all the crowds.
Now we're going to get to check out the trains a little later in the piece, but right now one of them is actually under wraps getting fixed up.
Yes, that's right. He gets serviced regularly because we've got to keep him going. He's our little treasure as our steam train, Sir Roy is his name, and he's lovely. Yes, so we've got to keep him serviced and looked after. Otherwise, we wouldn't have our little park here.
Yeah. Now, I'd imagine it would take quite a bit of work because there'll be quite specialised engines, I would think.
Oh yes, because they're just like the big steam engines. They still need all that servicing and tubing and everything. And like the park manager, Des Belworthy, he looks after all that. Yep. So it's they've got a big job.
Well, I'm looking forward to having a go in these little trains, Anne. Are you going to join us?
Oh yes, I'll join in. Why not?
All right. Thanks for your time. Yeah. Now, one of the things they need down here at the Rotorua Rail Park is volunteers, and with me right now is one of the main volunteers down here, Lyle Collins. Thanks for joining us, Lyle. Now, obviously, to run a charitable trust, you need volunteers to help around with the park, and you've actually got a special mission in mind that you need some help with.
This is right. We've got a lovely lake at the back of us here that used to have model boats and yachts and things like that sailing all the time, and we'd like those volunteers, once the lake goes down, can be cleaned out and get rid of the weeds, because the weeds get tangled up in the props and the keels of the yachts. Now the phone number on that is 07 357 5484, and if you like to ring the park here, it would be very much appreciated for those volunteers just to come down and probably help out wherever they can. It's only for 2 or 3 hours, and that would be very much appreciated.
How many do you think you need there, Lyle?
Well, I can't actually say how many we need, because there would be enough around to keep everybody going.
Yeah. Especially yourself.
Especially myself, yes. With me, with a couple of artificial legs, it's a wee bit harder for me to get around, but I do like getting around.
Well, I'm sure you do a great job. Thank you, Lyle.
Thanks very much.
Well, with me is the main man around here, Des Belworthy. Des, you've got probably the best job out here at the rail park.
Well, some people would like to think that, yeah.
Because not only are you fixing up the trains, you get to drive them as well. So that must be a good part of your job, seeing the smiles on the faces of the kids.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, keeping things running and having the kids happy at the end of a run and things like that. So
What about the big kids?
Big kids included, yeah.
Because I'm looking forward to this ride.
Well, kids of all ages actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much where it's at. Yeah.
Now, we just talked to Lyle before, and he's talking about you guys need more volunteers to help keep the place clean and get the lake cleaned out with the weeds. What about volunteers to help with the maintenance of the train, or is that solely a specialised job?
No, that would be appreciated. Anybody that's mechanically minded or engineering orientated, people like that, yeah, they're more than welcome to come on board and show us their skills and appreciate it. Any help we can get, the more the merrier.
Yeah. Now, Anne said that because it's a steam engine, it's just a smaller version of the big ones. Is it quite technical when you get under the hood there?
No, well, it's in one way it is, yeah. In other ways it's not. It's a vehicle that you've got to acquire the skills to operate.
Yeah.
Your basic ingredients are water and fire to make steam, and it's a pressure vessel on wheels. So people that understand how steam operates, or boilers and things like that, would appreciate.
So this one here, this is obviously in running order. What's it called?
This one's a little diesel hydraulic. It's Little Blue is its name, and it's basically turn the key, start it, and away you go.
Cool. So we do it?
Yeah.
Well, Love Soup Rotorua is just about to be launched here in our beautiful city, and it's actually being launched throughout the country. And the man behind the scenes, the manager behind it all, is with me today, Charles Christensen. Thanks for joining us today, Charles. Now, give us a bit of a concept or the background to the Love Soup Rotorua. What's it all about?
Okay, our goal is to feed as many people as possible that are in need. Feed the need is our goal.
So you're aiming for the homeless people that unfortunately we have?
For our homeless, because we have problem with them in our towns begging for money so they can get food. If we have a kitchen here, maybe we can eradicate that, and these guys will have somewhere to get a source of food. And we don't want to limit ourselves just to the homeless. We want to limit ourselves to everybody in Rotorua. Families that are falling short, might be a day before payday, come in, just fill themselves up and leave happy. No questions asked.
So, like we said right at the start of the story, it's actually going throughout New Zealand.
Yes, throughout New Zealand.
So how many people are on board at the moment?
I don't know the total, but here in Rotorua we have about 90 members on Facebook. Tukurua Kitchen is fully registered charity at the moment, and they've been going for about 4 months now total. And they've got their own kitchen, they've got full sponsorship over there from local businesses, McDonald's, Bunnings, they all come on board. We're hoping to do the same right here in Rotorua.
So right now you're looking for sponsorship here in our city?
Yes, we are. We're looking to get support from our council, because they're the ones we're going to need to stand by us the most. We want to talk to all the charities in Rotorua so we can link arm in arm with them and work side by side. Cool. Hopefully we can see the vulnerable people that are in need and direct them to the sources that they require.
So how far away are you from launching there, Charles?
It's hard to say at this stage, because we're doing all the groundwork right now. We're getting all the team involved. We want everybody on Facebook to show their support, like us, become a member, and show your support. If you want a sponsorship deal, we'll look at advertising on our Facebook page. We're looking at doing a thank you board to cover us wherever we go, so you'll get full exposure, and everything we get is for the people.
Cool. Now, are you going to be in one location cooking for the needy families, or are you actually going to be all over the place?
At this stage, we're looking at one kitchen, 1 day a week. Start small, hopefully look for success, and then we look to grow and use other locations around Rotorua on different days, same time. We're looking at possibly doing a mobile service so we can go directly to the needy people and just give them a package, no questions asked. Here you go, and leave. We're also contemplating doing haircuts as well, just to help them feel a bit better about themselves, because we know people smoke cigarettes, we know people gamble, but we don't want to judge them. We just want to help them.
Good stuff. Sounds like a great idea. Now, one of the big things that we were talking about before we went on camera is that you need sponsorship. You need people to make donations.
Yes,
so
do.
If there's businesses or individuals out there wanting to help out with the Love Soup Rotorua, how can they get hold of you?
They can get hold of me on Facebook Rotorua page. You can contact me on my own personal phone number, which is 027 825 2063. Give me a call, let me know that you're willing to pledge your support. Don't have to put any money down, all you need to do is pledge your support, so when opening day comes, you're ready there right behind us. We're willing to take old food. The only thing we can't take on is wild meat, because it goes against council rules. All our staff that will be cooking will be certified and to be safe and trained to cook the food properly. So we want to make sure we tick every box and make sure we keep everybody happy.
I think it's probably important, especially in a small city. You've got to make sure that you pretty much get on paper that these guys are going to support you. So how far through the process are you that with local business?
We haven't come very far. Basically, we didn't want to approach anybody until we had established ourselves properly, because we didn't want to shoot ourselves in the foot and ruin any possible opportunities. So we thought we'd wait till we got all the structure perfectly in place before we go out there and tell the businesses what's going on.
Nice stuff. Now, one of the other things that you probably are looking into is becoming a charitable trust. So is that on the cards as well?
Yes, we're applying at this stage. We're getting all the paperwork done at this stage. Then we're looking at 3 months for it to be confirmed by the Charities Commission for them to look over. Once they've done that, they will be a registered charity, and then we can look at getting sponsorship real easily.
And that was Soup Kitchen organiser Charles Christensen talking with Alan Solomon. And by the way, if you haven't yet voted in the local body elections, you still have time tomorrow morning to drop off your voting papers at the council. And if your organisation or community group has a news event that TV Rotorua can support, you can call the channel here and talk with one of our team on 07 3488 984, or go to email, that's news@tvrotorua.co.nz. Thanks for watching tonight and having us at your place. Have a safe weekend. Pamaria.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
City News was brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers Rotorua, celebrating 100 years of legal excellence and innovation.